these measurements. Now, measurements on the Crown Vic, and these are the alignment pins, and these are what we're concerned about, are these alignment pins. Okay, they're on both sides. And that right there, this distance is 31.5 inches. Okay, it's exactly 31.5. Pretty easy to figure that out. Now, where the heck is my ruler? There it is. Of course, this ruler is not going to fit inside here very well. Anyway, that's 31.5 inches. Okay, now there's lots of different ways that you can get the measurements as far as where your original suspension went. Okay, you can measure your kingpins. Let me show you what those are. Over here on the original suspension, you get these kingpins here. Okay, they're on both sides. You can measure those straight up. Find out where the center is. If you notice, here's the I-beam, and this goes right down the center of that I-beam. Okay, it's on both sides. So you're going to take that measurement and you're going to run straight up, and you're going to make a mark on your frame. But hey, Rick Biker, I've already pulled my suspension out and didn't realize I was going to be doing this. Well, not to fear. I have the other measurements for you too. Okay, this hole right here, 3.5 centimeters across. Okay, so if we burn a centimeter, that puts us at 4.5, which is 3.5 centimeters across. Okay, so now we take that distance, we cut it in half because we want to get our center point for the hole. From that center point, then you're going to measure back 22 3/16 of an inch. So I'm just going to kind of estimate that is about right there, about 22 3/16, because we're imagining there's a line through the middle of that hole. And that's going to bring us back to right here. Or, what I found, and I don't know if this is on every truck or not, this hole right here is exactly in line with where that spring perch hole was. Hopefully I'm not getting too complicated here. Probably using the wrong spring perch. Anyway, this spring perch sits right there, and there's that hole on the top. Okay, if we look, there's a little bit of corrosion, okay, where that hole was, and that hole's on the frame. And if you go straight up, boom, it puts you right in the center of where that spring perch is. Okay. I also found that, and this was measured back, this is 22 3/16 inch back, but I also found that this hole right here, and what I did, I went just to this tape line and then I marked this off from the back edge of this hole to my line right there at 22 3/16 of an inch is exactly 1 inch, which was by far the easiest measurement to get. So I'm going to lay this out here real quick and I'll show you. So right there, looking at it from the 21 to the 22, okay, we've got exactly 1 inch. Pretty cool. Easiest way to find that measurement. Same thing over here. No. Right there, from the 22 inch mark, it's exactly 1 inch. Okay, now I don't have the frame leveled out right now. But what I did was I put my level on here. I lowered the frame until it was perfectly level, and then used a string bob, and then found my. Now, of course, the tape is coming off because the frame is dirty. But I ended up finding that it was, in fact, right there in the middle of that hole. So I need to transfer this line to the bottom of the frame, measure across 31.5 inches, and get that centered. Then I'll know where to drill the holes for the alignment pins. Worst case scenario, you also know, okay, this is a long bed for now. So I know that I can get, I've got 133 inches is my wheelbase. So 133 or 131. I'll look that up and I'll post the right answer for you. Anyway, to your wheelbase, but I don't have a rear end installed right now, so that's not going to do me any good at all. So let's get started by transferring this line down to the bottom of the frame. All right, so here what I'm doing is I'm checking my line and I'm checking my vertical. So I'm going to come down on this side with a square, flat. Okay. There's a slight, see if I push down all the way, but if I lay it right here on this portion of it, I can see that I'm perfectly straight. I'm going to come over here, and again, gosh darn it. Okay, just put a nice little even pressure on it, in against the frame and down. Okay, because you got this roll here, it's kind of difficult, and I can see again that I'm perfect as far as being straight down the vertical point of this rail. So now all I need to do is roll that underneath. And again, I'll do that with the tape so I can mark it off and make sure I have a perfect straight line. Okay, I'm underneath. Oops, taking pictures. Okay, this is underneath. I got both frame rails marked. There's that side, and there's this side. Okay, and what I did was I put the tape on here, and then I scribbled on it with the line so I know that the outside edge of my Sharpie is going to be my measurement. Now here's what I found out, and this is pretty cool too. So I've got consistent measurements on the bottom also. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this 22. I'm going to set, what I noticed is that to the center of this hole, I'm exactly 7/8 of an inch. You see that? Exactly 7/8 of an inch to this hole, and it's on both sides. It's the same on both sides. Now there's two rivet holes. This one had a rivet in it. This one never did. I got that rivet out just now, and to the center of this hole to this line right here is exactly 7/8 of an inch. Up on the top we have 1 inch. So these two holes right here, this hole and that hole, wait, is it that one? Yes. So those two holes are exactly 1/8 of an inch off from each other, at least on this frame. And again, this is an F250, so I don't know that I don't know if the frames are the same or if they change between the F100 and the F1 or the F250. All right, perfect example of measure twice, cut once. Got two marks here. This outside mark, because I mismarked it right there. This outside mark is the one I'm going for. And it's just a rough mark. And then this little rough mark right here. Now obviously my line's going to be right here, but just making a rough mark. That little mark is exactly 1 inch inboard. If I put my hand right there, it is exactly 1 inch inboard. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, same thing over here. I'm just going to grab one here, put my finger on it, push it out, and right there, it's not focusing, right above the 26. And that entire measurement, let's see if I can do this one-handed, good luck to me. We're just going to go right there on the 1. We're going to burn an inch so we know we have an exact measurement. And then we're going to bring this over, and what we're looking for is 32.5. Let's see if I can do this one-handed without this thing flexing on me. No, I've lost my inch. Come on. Right there. And right there. I don't know if I can't tell. Anyway, so it looks like an inch inboard on each side gives me exactly 32.5 inches. Now, if that's the case, then that means that there should be 29.5 inches exactly in the middle. Let's see. So we've got that wedged in. We come up and we are exactly 29.5 inches. So I come in exactly 1 inch inboard on each side. All right. So I came in 1 inch. Right there on my line. And there we go. So now I've got my mark. Again, before I cut, I'm going to remeasure. I'm going to go from this mark there over, and holy moly, do you see that? Right there, exactly 31.5 inches. Right there. So that's where I need to start drilling my holes. I need to get a 3/4 inch hole. And if it all goes through, be able to wheel this front end under here and just drop it down. So let's get started on that. Okay, so I've got a little bit of lubrication on the drill bit. I'm going to use a small drill bit for starting. Ooh. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, yeah. A little bit more oil, because you can't have too much. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get out of the way of this stuff too. Ooh, and it's still cooking me. Still getting me. Golly Moses, that hurts. Man, oh man, oh man, that is cooking me. A little bit more oil on the drill bit. Okay, remember I have to take it to 3/4. I'm at 11/16 right now, so this is the last step then. So there it is. There's the first hole. And I just want to double check. Where did I put my... There we go. I just want to double check. So the half of this hole, center to center holes should be at, not centimeters, I keep doing that. Center to center should be right at 7/8. I'd say right at 7/8. So I'm in line. Looking down, just kind of eyeballing it where I'm supposed to be. right where I'm supposed to be. So let's move on to the other side real quick, see if this front end will drop on. Put more oil on it. Whoa, shit. Well, I made it through. I'm glad that was my last hole for the day, and broke my friggin' drill bit off. God damn it. Oh well. It was me. When it got through, it kind of jerked a little bit, and I punched through there and got me off guard. Before I get any further, again, I want to double check this measurement. It's not too late, but if I need to, I can still move it. Seven eighths, right at 1 inch. And how do I do an inbound or inboard of this? There. Yeah, looks like I'm dead on. So let's keep cutting. God, Moses, yes, metal, I know you're there. I do not like this at all. Should be it. Let's see how the front end fits. got the front end is sitting completely on the frame. I still need to get the sway bar pulled up and mounted, all that good stuff. And I was trying to figure out where I'm going to end the video at. I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of section this up because there's still a lot to be done. These trailing arm brackets need to be rotated so they bolt up against the frame. There's boxing that needs to be done. I've cleaned out the inside of the rails here, but I still have to clean out the inside of the rails here. Okay, so now that I've got the front end in, just last thing I want to do is check the measurements right here. And as you can see, I'm at 22 and 9/16 to the end of this hole. 23 and 9/16 to the end of this hole. I'm going to check it on this side. Lock that in on a flat. And again, 23 and 9/16 on this side. So I know that I'm perfectly centered back from the frame. These 2 points right here are perfectly even in relation to the front of the frame. I'm going to take some still shots and then I'm going to list all the measurements that have been taken up to this point. That way you can screenshot or take pictures of it. That way you've got the same exact measurements.